What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna pick up right here after the last video with the ground war day 2 Iraqi counterattack. So I guess they're gonna launch a counteroffensive against us in the coalition. So let's see what happens.
This video is sponsored by Conflict of Nations, a free online player versus player strategy game where you can lead your nation in a modern day global conflict. Set in the present General Norman Schwarzkopf returns to the war room in Riyadh at 4 AM on Monday the 25th of February 1991, G+1, after a few hours sleep. He observes the large war map, showing the live dispositions of his forces. Nearly all Iraqi divisions on the front line, mostly made up of conscripts, have been annihilated. The 240 Abrams tanks of the 24th Infantry Division of 18 Corps have marauded across the border and aggressively penetrated 80 miles into Iraq. After slow progress securing objective Rochambeau on day 1, the French Daguet is preparing to launch its assault on their objective at As Salman Crossroads and Airfield. After their daring helicopter assault behind enemy lines on day 1, the legendary and respected 101st Airborne have progressed the construction of their forward operating base at Objective Cobra and prepare to launch a new advance to take and cut off Highway 8 in the Euphrates Valley. Highway 8 is not only Saddam Hussein's main supply line to his forces in Kuwait, but also controlling the road will allow the 101st to destroy any Iraqi military vehicles in retreat. The US Marines and Arab forces in the east continue their excellent progress towards Kuwait City. Marine helicopters perform mock attack runs towards the coastline at Faylaka Island. This is a feint and gives a portion of Iraqi troops the false impression that an amphibious assault could be incoming, keeping some of their attention focused in the wrong direction. As well as the liberation of Kuwait, the other coalition war goal is to destroy the Iraqi Republican Guard, neutralizing it as a potent force for years to come. For this reason, the heavy armoured divisions of 7 Corps need to be making fast progress north to cut off any divisions that try to escape Kuwait. The difference in progress between the left and right flanks and 7 Corps in the centre is vast. Furious, Schwarzkopf demands to know why they're so slow. In reality, the 24th Infantry Division of 18 Corps has met minimal resistance in their march northwards, whereas 7 Corps had to breach the defences of the Saddam line. The logistical pressure placed on 7 Corps by moving the main assault forward by 15 hours on day 1 has been significant, and so logistical chains can't reasonably be expected to be at full efficiency. Some in Schwarzkopf's circle of staff officers believe that he knows more than he lets on, and is simply exaggerating for effect to light a fire under his generals. The first action of day 2 takes place on the western flank of 7 Corps. The 1st and 3rd Armoured Divisions are manoeuvring across the desert to catch up with the 2nd Armoured Cavalry Regiment already in Iraq. They hope to reach the supply depot at Al Bashaya later on, before dark.
So he was like a coach then, going back a little bit farther than where he was just at, but so he pretty much knew that they was doing the best they can, but he was just trying to trying to hype them up to kind of keep their morale up and get them to bust butt and catch up, kind of work a little double time to get caught up.
1st Armoured's Divisional MLRS battery covers the mass of Abrams tanks as they roll forward. The conscripts of the Iraqi 806th Infantry Brigade are the unfortunate souls to be the first unit in their way. The display of firepower brought against them is short but very violent. Like the other conscripts on the front line, their resistance to the tank assault is minimal, and they surrender as soon as possible. The 1st Infantry Division advance beyond the remnants of the Saddam line to clear the area beyond of Iraqi units. Once they're happy that the area is clear, they begin to guide the British 1st Armoured Division through the breach at 10 AM. The plan is to line up the divisions of 7 and 18 Corps in an echelon right formation, stretching from the Kuwaiti border to Highway 8, and then wheel the two corps in a right turn to hit the Republican Guard armoured divisions en masse. The two groups of the French Daguet are continuing their cautious advance north. Group East advance up the main road towards As-Salman. Group West approach an area of land west of As-Salman airfield. At 9:30 am, French Gazelles of the 3rd RHC attack a few scattered Iraqi armoured vehicles with anti-tank missiles and fire short bursts of 20mm cannon fire near trenches. Again, the defending Iraqis have no desire to fight, and this is enough for them to surrender. The Gazelles continue to hammer bunkers. A short artillery burst covers the French tanks moving unopposed into the objective. An Iraqi with his arms aloft holds out a surrender leaflet dropped on his troops days earlier, furious that his comrades had to endure an hour of artillery and helicopter attack before being given the opportunity to surrender.
I guess he should have been outside ready to surrender with the leaflets was dropped. You know? Why are you still inside and bunkered down? I mean, I know they're bombing you and stuff, but I'm pretty sure if you have your hands up or something like that, then they won't shoot you.
Group East encounters a company of Iraqi T-55 tanks. 2 Gazelles and an A-10 batter the column, destroying half of the 15 vehicles, and French tanks roll forward to finish them off. Given the hopelessness of their situation, nearby Iraqi infantry show courage standing up to the French tanks, firing RPGs at close range. However, they are eventually overcome by machine gun fire from the tanks. Group East continue moving north. Simultaneously in Kuwait, the Arab forces of Joint Forces Command East are moving up the coastal road. They're about 12 miles southeast of the northernmost US Marine elements. The commander of Task Force Papa Bear of the 1st Marine Division believes that a series of overground pipelines and sabotage burning oil wells to their east are enough to deter an enemy attack to their flank. They're wrong. Thick morning fog covers the advance of a recon unit of T-55s against Papa Bear's command post. Nobody spots them break through the fog, and the Iraqi tanks open fire into the command post tent. Miraculously, nobody inside is hit. Chaos erupts as Marines return fire with anti-tank weapons and small arms fire. Had the Iraqis taken advantage of the chaos and continued to press their attack, they could very realistically have overrun the command post. An American corporal bravely charges at the tanks on foot and destroys a T-55 with a shoulder-launched AT-4. As the fog begins to lift, it's clear that a significant counterattack is in motion.
This credit card has an interest rate that's really, really low. How low? This low.
8 miles north, Iraqi artillery zeroes in on the 1st Marine Division forward command post, likely using radio direction finding equipment to lock onto and home in on the command post radio antennae farm. This post is currently hosting the 1st Marine Division commander, Major General Mayat. Iraqi BMP armoured personnel carriers open fire through the mist from a tree line to the east. Infantrymen disembark and small arms fire and anti-tank missiles streak into the Marine encampment. The Iraqi force is brigade strength and is now just a few hundred metres away.
Wow.
7 Marine LAV armoured personnel carriers and 40 infantrymen respond, forming a line and returning fire with small arms and anti-tank missiles, and the LAV's 25mm cannon. Realising the seriousness of their situation, the Marines request all available nearby Cobra attack helicopters to beat back the enemy line. The Iraqi troops are too close for Marine artillery support. The first of the responding Cobras scream in and hammer the enemy line with cannon and rocket fire. Seeing the Cobras, Captain Stephen Ray, commanding the LAV platoon, orders an aggressive counterattack against the larger Iraqi force. They roll forward, stopping only to reload their 25mm cannon with fresh belts of 600 rounds. Iraqi gunnery is terrible, and they score no hits on the marauding LAVs. More Cobras arrive to join the Marines lighting up the tree line.
Nice.
The aggressive move forces the enemy to retreat through the woods. Ray continues the pursuit for a kilometre. Satisfied that the majority of the brigade's vehicles have been destroyed, he shows mercy and allows the last of the disarmed fleeing Iraqis to escape. With 38 vehicles destroyed and 300 Iraqi prisoners of war, Captain Ray is awarded the Navy Cross, second only to the Medal of Honor for heroism. Task Force Papa Bear have M60 tanks immediately available to hit back against the attacking Iraqi forces, and with the fog lifted, a large tank battle is in progress. Marine jets.
There's just stuff going on everywhere. It's hard to find a place to pause because this guy, the way he's talking, he's nonstop, just giving you all, just compact, full of details. So, and it's told so good, it's hard to find a good place because he's already on to the next battle so quick. But yeah, this is interesting.
And Cobras have been scrambled and pound the enemy vehicles, with M60s and LAVs hammering the inferior Iraqi tanks. Particularly fearsome is a flight of 4 Cobras led by Captain Randy Hammond. They form a wide line abreast and fly northeast at 20 knots. Each helicopter begins the assault with 4 TOW missiles, 14 rockets, 4 Hellfire missiles, and 700 20mm cannon rounds. They expend their entire munitions load in just 10 minutes. Over the next couple of hours, the Marines wipe out 2 enemy brigades, including nearly 100 armoured vehicles. The US 1st and 3rd Armoured Divisions are making their way north towards Al-Bashaya, sweeping over all resistance. The British 1st Armoured Division is continuing its transition through the safe lanes of the Sadan Line. The 1st Cavalry Division advances into Iraq, skirmishing with Iraqi armour on the right flank. At just after midday, 60 Chinooks of the 101st Airborne from the forward operating base at Objective Cobra arrive at an area of land 27 miles southwest of Highway 8. They don't have the range to reach Highway 8, so each drop 2 Humvees with TOW anti-tank launchers. These vehicles immediately depart northeast towards a rendezvous area near the highway.
Wow.
In 4 hours' time, Blackhawks will deliver the main infantry assault force directly to the rendezvous point, where the plan is for the combined force to take the highway together. However, heavy wind and rain has turned the Humvee's route into a muddy bog, and progress is nearly impossible. The French assault on the airfield at As Salman is ready to proceed at 2:30 p.m. First,
so really the biggest obstacle so far has been the wind and rain and sand. Honestly, that's been the biggest obstacle for them. The rest of it's been there was the friendly fire issue and then the minefield, but other than that, there really hasn't been that much. The one counterattack. That's it.
A squadron of A-10s roll in to drop bombs on the hangars and bunkers. Following them, Gazelles move in to attack vehicles and bunkers with anti-tank weapons. 900 artillery and mortar shells are lobbed into the airfield as the 3 ground assault teams breach the perimeter. Team 1 clears the hangars on the west side of the airfield, Team 2 clear the hangars on the east side, and then the tanks of Team 3 smash through the fence in the centre and clear the buildings on the other side of the runway. Destroying a single tank, the Daguet finds the airfield abandoned and begin to clear the area of anti-personnel cluster bomblets dropped on the runway during the air campaign. At 4:10 p.m, the Blackhawks of the 101st drop their infantry into the muddy bog a mile south of Highway 8. The mud is almost knee-deep and oozes into the infantryman's boots. Every man displays a gutsy determination, trudging through the mile of thick mud towards the highway, carrying 120-pound packs. The artillery and Humvees dropped by the Chinooks earlier are delayed. The going is so hard that the second lift of infantrymen is cancelled until the following day. It takes several hours to make the gruelling march, after which the 101st set up roadblocks in 2 places along Highway 8. Mercifully, they meet little resistance. Their first catch is a convoy of 4 trucks. American machine gun fire rips into the lead vehicle and the convoy halts, the drivers running away into the night. With hopes and dreams of a shipment of Scud missiles and tank shells, scouts search the vehicles. they report of a shipment of onions. At 6 p.m, one brigade of the British 1st Armoured Division is through the breach and clearing pockets of resistance northeast. They form the southeasternmost point of the Great Echelon, stretching northwest beyond al-Bashaya. Bogged down by surrendering Iraqis, the 1st Armoured Division postponed their assault on al-Bashaya until tomorrow morning. With orders to find the enemy, but not to become decisively engaged, the 2nd Armoured Cavalry Regiment probes east into the night towards Kuwait. They encounter and skirmish with the Iraqi 50th and 37th Armoured Brigades, screening units for the Tawakalna Republican Guard Division waiting in the darkness. During a confused engagement at night, Iraqi tanks and American friendly fire account for 2 damaged Bradleys and 3 M113 APCs destroyed. Behind them, Frag Plan 7 is in motion, and the echelon of divisions make a complex and dangerous wheeling right turn. The manoeuvre is hazardous because excitable and enthusiastic tank crew might mistake vehicles from other friendly divisions around them for enemy units, especially at night through their infrared sights in bad weather. No such fratricide occurs. Each armoured division like a finger clenching into the fist, the mighty punch of steel and fury is about to be unleashed. Thanks.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, that'll be it. Yeah, so that was pretty interesting how day 2 went, and they tried to do a counteroffensive, but wasn't so good without the air support. So yeah, so far it's going good. I think there's another ground war. Hang on. Yeah, day 3, the ground war. Day 3, the Great Tank Battle. All right. Yeah. So if you enjoy that, like, subscribe, go to this guy's page and subscribe to this thing too. And we'll see you in the next one.